ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody all around the world, hello and welcome to this Friday edition of the Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Let's make some noise and clap it up. Get excited wherever you are. We back, we here, we live, and we all ready to talk about the world of boxing and beyond on this championship rounds edition of the Welch Report. That's right, you all control the conversation, you all control the whole flow of the show, and you all control everything that we discuss. We got a whole host of topics that we can delve into, as we got a lot of stuff that broke down already, that broke up in the world of boxing, that all of a sudden it's got the world talking. Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia potentially already got a date in mind. Can you believe it? My gosh. Not to mention potentially some more talks with the likes of Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder, Boots Ennis versus Zayas, asking the question, is Boots too small for Xander? After we've seen some of the most recent interviews, training camps, and other things involving Xander, that man looks like a real mountain to climb from the standpoint of a size and stature perspective. There's a little bit of an added window of conversation that we should be discussing in that fight as we're leading up to the date of June 27th on this year in the summer. Absolutely, we got all that and more to talk about with you all. We got a whole bunch of conversations to discuss, and we got a whole lot of fun to be had with you all. So if you would please go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Come on and join the hottest show in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Please go ahead and, again, like I said before, leave a like on the video. One like makes a world of difference, and please be sure to do the most important thing, which is to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can go and make this thing bigger, better, stronger, and grander. And for you, the viewer and listener at home, and also if you would like to support the channel, hey, we got Cash App, PayPal links down below. We can't do this without you all. And if you like what you're hearing and you want to keep it going, you can fund us also through super chats, gifts, and stickers, all that stuff. If you want to spend more time asking or debating questions or comments that you may have, hey, throw some money my way, and we can definitely go and add a little bit more interest to whatever you want to conversate with. But we're still going to get to everybody. All you got to do is hit the chat down below. The more you interact, the more people come in, and the more we get people involved in the show. But with all that being said, we got a lot to cover in a short amount of time, and we got a lot of boxing to delve into, and we got your voice to be heard in the sports world to discuss. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to step into the ring, and it's time for the championship rounds. Come on, let's get it started. Ring the bell. It's time to work. It's time to shine. It's time to make it do what it do, and it's time to get us excited for this show, and it's time to delve into the bigger world of boxing as a whole. And hey, we already got people in the chat, like with Ryan Graves. Welcome back. How you doing? Good to see you. We're happy that you're here. Welcome aboard to the Welch Report once again. Let me see what I watch. I think Teo will do much better against someone like Ryan by unanimous decision. And yeah, there are a lot of people, he may potentially, he's not as technically tactical, but he sure enough is physically dominant. It's a different vein of a struggle in the fight. It would be for Teofimo Lopez. It would be very interesting to see how this would go if it does indeed go down. Burr, what's up with you? How you doing? Welcome back once again. We're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you're involved with the Welch Report on YouTube. Let me see. What's up, Welch? And I know you've seen them. Timothy Brady, like, man, I've seen a whole bunch of, he's been going up against Greg Hatchett. He's been talking about Boots Ennis. He's been doing everything under the sun. I don't know which video you're talking about, because he's been posting something about every single situation just about for the past couple months, which again is his job. I get it. He's a valued voice, but man, even still, but it's got a lot to say. But real quick, let's make sure that we can get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, which is the start off the show, which what broke essentially yesterday is Teofimo Lopez looks to be in the ring to fight the likes of Ryan Garcia, as Ryan Garcia has gone on social media and on Twitter, and essentially said on live stream that he was going to fight Teofimo Lopez. Was it June 27th or was it July 27th? I can't remember the exact day. I'm going to play the clip so you all can see it. But essentially, he's already insinuating We've been calling him out. We've been wanting to fight. And now already we got a date that's going to be going down. Allegedly per the words of Ryan Garcia. And I'll pick up the clips so we can play it so you all can hear exactly what's going down. But that looks to be the real MO of Ryan Garcia. And the next task for one of the biggest stars and one of the most polarizing figures in all of boxing now looks to be moving to 140 and fighting against one of the, arguably, or currently right now, looking to be the second most talented fighter in the division in Teofimo Lopez. And excuse me, I misspoke. Not at 140, but at 147, because Teofimo Lopez officially has moved up to the division. But let me go on and switch it over into the world of picture-in-picture so you can see exactly what Ryan Garcia had to say on the day and why him and Teo looks to be potentially already a done deal. But let me go on and turn this volume up and play the clip for you to see, witness, and enjoy. Make sure it ain't muted. There we go. Okay. Going up and boom. Oh, still muted. There we go.
July 25th?
Should I unwrap him? July 25th? Oh, wow. We got a date. Who the fuck we fucking up? I don't know.
Teofimo.
Oh, wow.
Lopez. Bring him on. July 25th?
So as you can see, July 25th looks to be Teo versus Ryan Garcia. Now again, be clear, be incredibly clear as we go and talk about this fight. There is no confirmed information that this is actually a signed done deal. Hey, hold on.
Hey,
Skepticism. Be skeptical. Be skeptical. Warnings everywhere. Be clear. Nothing is outright confirmed. So don't be going and saying, I told y'all we got a fight day and it's going down and it's going to be guaranteed to happen. Nothing has been signed on the dotted line. But if this is leading into a real reality that this fight will happen, as we've seen with Ryan Garcia in the past, if he does want to make a fight, he's gonna make a fight. Be clear about that. I can tell you what, you can say what you want about Ryan Garcia, and I can tell you right now, there's a lot to say about Ryan Garcia. But what you can't say about this brother is that if he wants to get some smoke, he gonna get some smoke. He gonna get some smoke. He will. He'll get some smoke. He'll fight you out. He will go for broken work without any question or concern. And if this is true, we got ourselves a real slobber knocker of an event. And yeah, I call it a slobber knocker in the words of Jim Ross over in WWE, now in AEW. But he is this would be a monumental affair when it comes to a big time fight. You're talking about two people that can talk the talk, walk the walk, and have been absolutely polarizing in two separate positions of boxing, and now they are going to clash in what would be one of the most high-profile events in the sport. And mind you, we talked about this last year. If we got those two in the ring with each other, oh, what would the build-up to the fight be? It would be the greatest build-up that we have in boxing. No question. It would be the greatest builder that we would have in boxing. There would be no equal. There would be no other. There would be nothing better than a fight between them two, strictly because of the build-up of that fight. You want to talk about trash talk, unabated and unfiltered. It would be the most entertaining press conference, a marketing ploy, and complete road to the show. That is the mega fight in most likely Las Vegas, Nevada. It could be back in New York City. Shoot, it could be anywhere in the globe at this point, because that is that big of a fight. And it would be the most talked about event, strictly because the jabs you would hear throwing at each other from Teo's dad, from Teofimo Lopez, from Ryan Garcia, and shoot, from everybody else that's talking about the fight would be ridiculous. I'm talking about we probably see a scrap in the center of the ring. We're in the center of the press conference. We probably see jokes left, right, and center. Low blows amongst the low blows. Everybody already hates the both of them from the standpoint of what they've done from situations outside of the ring. And my gosh, inside the ring, hey, let them kill each other. That would be the public perception of what the world would want to see for a lot of people. And I'm guaranteeing you right now, it would be a masterful performance of outright getting under the skin of the opposition It would be essentially who's the best talker in the game. And I would love to see how that goes. And I can't wait to find out. My goodness, I would love it. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this fight. Oh, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for this fight to take place, if in fact it is true that is going to happen. But let me keep on reading you all's comments and opinions. Let me see, yo, Freeze, Tim, we got people in the chat. Freeze, what's going on? You thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you on the live with us today. Hopefully you're enjoying your time. Hopefully you're leaving a like on the stream. I know we got some competition. I know we got everybody else streaming as well with a lot of this news coming about. But hey, if you hit the like button, it helps us to beat out the competition, knock out everybody in our way, and have everybody quail into our abode of the Welch Report. And we love to see you all in the chat, and we love to see you all responding to everything that we talk about on the show. Boxing Pro, also, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the live with us on today. Teo must relent himself. He can against Teo. And this would be a fight. If Teo can win, sure, he's back on track. It would still fit the moniker of big time fights. But some people are saying Teo can't lose. Some people are saying both of them can't afford a loss. Be clear now, boy, this is some hot water for both of them, even though this is a big fight situation. Doesn't mean they're going to get thrown away. They're too big of stars to get thrown away. However, they are both coming off of, we're not coming off of losses. Ryan Garcia beat Mario Barrios. Teofimo Lopez lost to Shakur Stevenson. But both of them are now in the dangerous territory of that three fight losing threshold in competition. That can be dangerous. Somebody loses here, hey, it is going to take a blow to some degree, and people are going to feel it, and people are going to talk about it. Absolutely. Love King, how you doing as well? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. We appreciate you right here on the live, and you say, I have Lopez. You got Lopez winning in that fight with Ryan Garcia. And who wins this fight? It's a conundrum. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a conundrum with what we have now seen from Ryan Garcia and what made Teofimo struggle against Shakur Stevenson. Not in the technical aspect, but in the physical vein. Man, we could have run into some problems. We really could. But let me see. If you say you have Lopez winning, if that fight happens, I'm leaning towards it might be closer to a 50-50 fight affair. Now, I'm explaining why in this show. But let me see. That's actually a good fight by Teo. But to have this in his bag, it is. Oh, be clear. If this does indeed happen, this is an incredible fight. This would be fitting in the moniker, the very thing we've been asking for amongst boxing fans, which is to make the fights that we want to see be entertaining in a way that has us all saying we want to see the stars against the stars on a consistent basis, win, lose, or draw. We still want big events happening all year round because y'all are able to fight all year round in some capacity. And we're glad Teo wasn't ducking smoke after we moved up to the division for the first time. And we're very happy that Ryan Garcia, while calling out everybody under the sun, he called out Keyshawn Davis, he's called out Devin Haney, he's called out, we even talked about Roland Merrill in some regards, he has called out anybody that will listen that he wants that smoke, especially after beating Mario Barrios. And he fought Mario Barrios after calling him out. And now we're getting still the consistency of legitimate threats on the resume. And we want to keep this going. Absolutely. But let me see. A very pleasant fight. I love it. Hey, Boxing Pro, I'm with you. I love this fight. I love this fight. I can't wait for this fight to happen. It is an incredible fight to see take place. Absolutely. But I'm concerned for Teo. I really am. I really am. And it's because I don't know how Teo deals with what Ryan Garcia brings to the table. I'm not talking about the technical ability. I'm not even talking about the power. I'm talking about everything that he struggled against when Ryan Garcia, when Teo fought Shakur. That was the hand speed. He struggled with Shakur and his hand speed. Shakur is a faster puncher than Teofimo Lopez. Shakur all around was faster than Teo. Shakur, physically, crazy enough, was able to outclass Teofimo Lopez in many departments that we felt he was going to be better than Shakur. And now he's going up against arguably, the most physically gifted fighter at 147 pounds, welterweight, in a division that he is stepping up to that may be too big for his ability. It may be. With this combination, it could be bad. It could be bad. We have said Teo can fight up at multiple divisions, but now that he's here, we have seen on this road to get up here, there's been some exposure. There's been some struggle. There has been some dissension in what we can predicate his abilities as. Doesn't mean that he still ain't great. Mind you, he still is a bad man to beat. He ain't lost by much, or he ain't lost too many people. He hasn't. Teo losing to Shakur is a different breed. Teo in that fight with Lomachenko was a different breed to make him fight like that. Yes, he has struggled with Sandor Martin and Ortiz, but when he got on his game, yeah, he's hard to stop against anybody. But now he's going up against somebody who can completely nullify all of that ability as a fighter strictly by his raw physical presence. And that is Ryan Garcia in a nutshell. I'm going to overwhelm you with everything I got, no matter what you are or what you can do, because I am just better than you in the physical department. Fight like the wall. Don't fight just like the fighter. What does that mean? The perception of Ryan Garcia, he's a physically dominating fighter. You're not going to get it. He can box, yes, like we saw against Mario Barrios. But he is not somebody that's going to jab your head off and completely be able to. His game plan is to be able to do the X's and O's and do the sweet science imperfection. No. The very essence of his fighting style is imperfection. Not in perfection in terms of doing it perfectly, but imperfection. They're blemishes. Why? Because he just wants to go and seek it short. He wants to put a hurt on you and completely overwhelm you, bum rush you in regards, like you talked about with the other fighters, but doing it in a way that is blinding, not just damaging. And it makes a lot of other people's weapons and skill sets obsolete. That's what Ryan Garcia can do to Teofimo Lopez. This current iteration, at this division, at the most physically fit and peak of his powers. And we saw Teo get beat in the same physical department against somebody, with all due respect to Shakur Stevenson, who is physically gifted in his own right. He's not Ryan Garcia in that regard. But he beat Teo in similar ways. Now you got Ryan Garcia with even more heightened physical abilities, way better power, and is using the jab, is using boxing, is able to react, and is using his right hand. All of a sudden, that very dimension of fighter has made everybody look at him in a whole new way. Rightfully so. Understandably so. Hopefully so. They're buying into this man's a real threat when he's got his act together. When he has his act together, now we're looking at somebody who can beat out better boxers because he's a better fighter. You can box and you can box better than you can fight. You can fight better than you can box. All people that are boxers aren't great fighters. Everybody that is a great fighter is not a great boxer. This is the tale as old as time in boxing. This sport carries a wide range of scale in where every fighter falls. Ryan Garcia is more of a fighter than a boxer, even though he showed he can box. But being such a good fighter as a physically dominant persona, now he can outclass even some of the better boxers that are above his technical skill level. Because when it comes to turning it into a fight, all of a sudden, he's got you where he wants you. And that's bad. That's very bad. And for Teo, it can be very bad. But let me keep on reading you all's thoughts and opinions on the day. Let me see. I still want to see Devin versus Ryan Garcia. Be clear, I still do as well. I still do. That is still the fight I need to see happen. That is the unification that I need to see transpire. I cannot let this rivalry die without seeing that fight go down. After Ryan beats Rolly, after Devin beats Rolly Romero, then if we do get this fight with Tio and Ryan does beat Tio, the trajectory is still the same, even if the opponent for Ryan is different than what we expected. We still get unification, Ryan, Devin, later in the year, the grudge match for the ages, and most likely the most talked about fight for the entire year. After May, most likely. That's what we can see, and I want to see it. Let me see. It makes sense. Teal been talking about 147, and if it's going to be more irrelevant, Ryan is the person to do it with. And I think relevant, not irrelevant, but relevant is the word. Even after this loss, Ryan Garcia and Tio, both of them, are still two of the biggest names up here. It's Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, with him still being around just because he's Manny Pacquiao. Keyshawn Davis, even though we don't know if he's going to actually be up there or if he's going to fight at 140, we've been having some concerns about where he's actually going to land. And then, ultimately, Tio, coming up to that division, is the fifth biggest name. Not in terms of bottom of the rankings, but just as the fifth big name in that division that is the most recognizable. So, he is up there with all those other cats as a known commodity. Brian Norman also, but he's lost some stock because of that loss to Devin Haney, and now people are kind of not as hot on him as a fighter, but he's only 24 years old. He's got room to grow, so we ain't got no issue there. But as we continue the conversation, he's not irrelevant, but we only want to see him in big fights still. He still is a person who, just because you lose to Shakur, doesn't mean absolutely you got to go through it now, wait around, retool, and regroup. We want to see you shine, flourish, grow, and completely work to take over. If you can. Retake the takeover. Redo your skill set. Get the reason why you failed against Shakur, or at least why you were so unable to do anything. Get your dad out of your corner. Get a better coach. Get somebody that will actually push you in a way that isn't just you got to hit them, to incentivize, not even incentivize, to enhance your already God-given instinctual ability as a fighter that we've seen carry you to multiple championships. That can help you, not just rely on you. That's the thing. And so, you got to work. We still want to see you work. And so this is the work that we're happy for. We love to see this type of work. No question. I can see Tio winning, but I can see Ryan Garcia keeping Tio with this distance 50-50. I really can. Popping out that jab for Ryan now is an actual fundamental game plan for him, or it's a part of his game more than it was in the past. And he can turn that over into a hook quicker than Tio can react. It isn't just a distance tool. It's a bait. It's a bait. And we know if Tio does go back to the body and tries to score, Ryan's going to be able to capitalize on it. See, I'm telling you, this one fight with Barrios has changed the whole perception of what Ryan Garcia can do, even against other fighters. Back in the day, if we were saying Tio or Ryan, if they fought against each other, who would win? I would have picked Teofimo Lopez, without a doubt, in a heartbeat. No question.
Hey, look at this! We got some problems here!
It wouldn't have,
We got some problems here!
it would not have been a debate in a couple of years ago. This wouldn't have been a debate if Tio, Ryan, who's the better fighter, who would win? It would not have even been a conversation. Not even a conversation. Now it is. Now it is. It is, and justifiably so. Let me see. Yo, For Life, salute to you. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. We're happy that you're joining with us on the live. Let me see. How tall is Tio? I believe Tio is 5'7". I believe Teofimo Lopez is 5'7". Let me check that. Let me check that real quick to make sure. But I believe it's excuse me, he's 5'8". He's 5'8". My apologies. Teofimo Lopez is 5'8". Ryan Garcia is roughly 5'10". I think he's 5'10". Because he was dwarfed by, he was shorter than Barrios, but Barrios was 6'1". I think Ryan is 5'9" to 5'10". Yeah, he's 5'9". 5'9". He's 5'9". So it would be a 1 inch reach, a height difference, and about I think it's a 2-inch reach advantage for Ryan Garcia as well in that fight. If they did fight against each other, Shakur is still a different animal. Ryan Lopez will be a slugfest, and it is going to be. It's going to be a slugfest. But it can be one-sided. It can be one-sided because it can be a one-sided slugfest. I want to make sure I pick my words correctly when I say this, because Ryan Garcia can take what Shakur did to Teo and turn that into his favor, to have the capacity not just to work, but to earn more countering opportunities and capitalize on them after the jab. Shakur did everything with the jab alone, doubling up on a jab or landing single shots, and you saw what he did to Teo's face. Rightfully so. It was working him to the bone. It was messing him up. It was destroying him, killing him to kingdom come. He was bad off, and he should have been bad off, because that brother was outclassed, outmatched, outworked, and everything under the sun was showing this man was on a different level. No question. However, he was opening up later on. Ryan Garcia, if he gets those same opportunities of, okay, I'm popping you with the jab, I'm catching you consistently, he's going to open up a whole lot earlier. A whole lot earlier. He'll take more chances than Shakur. We know that for a fact. We know that. That's not even a question. That is a given. That is Bible by the standpoint of Ryan Garcia. He's going to take chances. He's going to take shots. He's going to work, look to run into windows of opportunity. Not the standpoint of putting himself in trouble, but looking for it. I'm going to capitalize, going to hurt you. I'm going to destroy you. That's what he wants. He's going to take more chances than Shakur Stevenson. So this could be worse for Ryan Garcia if off the jab, the same struggles that he had dealing with Shakur's jab, he has dealing with Ryan's jab. It's not as sharp or as technical, but it's just as fast. It's just as fast. And it will be able to, it can evolve into another punch quicker than we all think, as we've seen before with Ryan. And so it could be a one-sided beatdown if we open up in the same instance of Ryan Garcia having success, overwhelming Teo with speed. It can get scary. It can get messy for the likes of Ryan. Yes, it can. Oh, yes, it can. Oh, for the likes of Teo, excuse me. No question about it. Brian Norman's still in my top 5. And no problem there. He still is a top 5 contender. He can still retool and regroup. I just feel that Ryan Norman, right now, the stock has been lowered for him in the public eye. And it can build back up. However, it's going to take a fight or two. When it does, hey, he'll be back on top, and everybody will love him and appreciate him. And we still do, and we still want to see him back. It's just right now, we got to keep a spade and say, well, actually, no, a spade can still be called a spade, and we can say that he's above Pacquiao in the current zeitgeist of boxing. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I was saying Pacquiao because Pacquiao was the most relevant name because of the whole proximity to Floyd Mayweather and that fight potentially going down, and everybody's starting to talk about it. But now, I'm fine putting him above him. I have no issue with that at all. Let me see. I was hurt when Devin dropped him. It's all good. I thought he was he's going to come back better. He is. And he should. He should. He should come back better because he's that good of a person. Now, him against Ryan Garcia, I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared. See, and everything revolves around the same concern. The jab is the biggest scary factor in this whole abode of a fight. The jab is the biggest concern for Brian Norman, for Teofimo Lopez, when it comes to their ops that they're getting ready to face in any regard. One of them being in terms of Teo and Ryan, which is our current discussion. Ryan's with everybody. When it comes to those two, Devin and Ryan Garcia, with everybody that goes against him now, the jab has become more than just a tool, more than just a weapon. Now it is a reliable, essentially, setup. It's a reliable setup. For Devin Haney, it sets up one counter and then a clinch. But for Ryan now, what we weren't seeing in the past, for Ryan Garcia now, it's a setup that has the public looking and saying, hey man, you can get more than just paintbrushed off of that one weapon. But you can get destroyed. You can get knocked out off of that jab. Because of what can come behind it. What it can disguise coming out of the offense of Ryan Garcia. What it can lead to coming out of the offense of Ryan Garcia. It can be demoralizing. It can be a one-hitter quitter. Because he still got that kind of power. It can be scary. It can be scary. No question about it. Let me see. So do you think Brian Norman wins Ryan Garcia? Right now, no, I don't. Right now, no, I don't. And it's because Ryan Garcia is smarter than we realize. And Love King, I'm with you. Norman versus Lopez would be a phenomenal fight. It would, no question about it. That would be that could turn into a slugfest and a knockout situation real quick. Oh, yes, it can. But the reason why I'm saying I would pick Ryan Garcia is because there's an aspect of Ryan that we haven't really delved into as much. And also, I see you all, Al Booger, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're happy that you're here with us on today. And everybody in the chat, thank you for showing up and showing out. Hopefully, you leave a like on the stream. Hopefully, you keep on sharing the show. We want to see you here. Keep on telling everybody about this is the place to be. The hottest show in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. One like makes a world of difference. And if you want to support the channel, shameless plug, hey, Cash App, PayPal, links down below, super chats and super gifts, stickers and all that stuff. If you want to support the channel, would mean the world to me, and we appreciate it so much. Helps me to pay the bills. Helps me to also make this show better. So we love it and we appreciate it. But we still got, we're going back, last thing on the Brian Norman, Ryan Garcia. The thing that we don't talk about with Ryan Garcia in reference to that fight and the fight with Teo, or any fight for that matter, Ryan Garcia is a smarter fighter than we have given him credit for. Ryan Garcia is a more thoughtful fighter than we have given him credit for inside the ring. I would be the first to say. And so when I say that fight can be a good fight for Brian Norman and Ryan, or Teo and Ryan, I believe it. But the moniker of it can be a slugfest, I am concerned. Because that can turn one-sided with how Ryan is approaching his offensive game now. It is not just left hook, left hook, left hook. Now, it's built with a delivery system. The very thing that we see, that we hear the great Teddy Atlas talk about all the time. I hope one day I hope to get a show with him. I would love to have an opportunity to do stuff with him as a boxing mind. He has so many great gems. Somebody reach out to him if you can. Tell him about the show. Have him come aboard. Hey, put him on. But even still, he talks about the delivery system. Having the capacity to make your offense not just potent, but have a throughway. Have a assembly line of how you can put your offense together, how you can get the package home to your destination, how you make it so that your weapons don't become useless just by you having them. You can get them to the target. Ryan Garcia, the biggest issue was it was the left hook, and there was no other weapon to get him to the target. Sure, he had knockouts with the straight right. He had knockouts with the left hook. He had knockouts with multiple different types of punches earlier in his career. He even talked about it himself. A lot of his knockouts were with the right hand before the left hook. However, one-hitter quitters, counter opportunities off of clean shots, which is still a skill. But when that stuff started not working, we saw some struggle. We saw some stagnation. Now he has gotten past that wall of stagnation, and he's got a delivery system in how he can deliver his power shots and make openings for himself. And he's abiding by that. And he's thinking on a different plane than he was pre-rolling, which I love. I appreciate it. I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we see the difference and we see the potency. So against everybody else now, it is not the same given. Oh, they were able to beat him. Oh, they'll be able to outbox him. It's not like that no more. He's a better fighter than we give him credit for. He's a better thinker than we give him credit for. And he can take what we see Shakur do and not do it the same way, because he's never going to be that good in terms of technically. But he can apply what worked for them and turn it into, from technicality to outright damage. Put his own spin on the similar vein that got openings for Shakur. He doesn't do it as good, but he takes some of those same principles and he can apply it to himself for the same opponent. Next thing you know, we can see him potentially put out Teo. We can see him potentially put out Brian over you and not make it so that he survives for 12 rounds. We could see that. Because he's a better fighter than we give him credit for. Because he's a better thinker than we all may realize. I do believe that. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Let me see. Spock, Junior Spock, what's going on with you? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. We're happy that you're here with us on the play or on the day. We appreciate you coming in on the live, talking about giving honor to the jab master Larry Holmes and Big Old Brian Norman winning that. Teo has no functional guard. Now, if we were talking about Teo and Brian Norman, yeah, if it's Teo and Brian Norman, I would be privy to take Teofimo Lopez. I would be privy to take, because Teo, against somebody that's a front-footed, flat-footed fighter, he works best against them. That's what Brian Norman is right now. Great power puncher, but also somebody who we've seen him knock down before, we've seen him caught and tagged and countered before, and if he can get hurt by David Haney, he can get hurt by Teo. He can. He absolutely can. On top of that, if he's dealing with somebody that's moving towards him, instead of him trying to catch somebody, it's a completely different framework of how he's able to go through and fight. And now the moniker of just hit him works a whole lot better when you ain't got to deal with somebody moving away from you. Brian Norman's not gonna move away from him. So I'm telling you, it's gonna be a whole lot easier. If that fight happened and it goes the way I think it would go at this point in time, it would probably be seeing the likes of Brian Norman be talked about as, oh my gosh, he got not Brian Norman. We'll probably see Teo get talked about as, oh, he's back. Oh, he's looking good now. Oh my goodness, he's back to what we thought he could be after the fight with Shakur. Because he'll probably look more close to the Teofimo Lopez that we knew that was going through and being a offensive juggernaut. Because dealing with somebody that he'll be there to get hit. He'll be there to get hit. He's still dangerous. Don't get me wrong. But I think that works in Teo's favor, in my estimation. Let me see. No lie, Brian had no answer to the jab, so that's dangerous. Yeah, he didn't. Let me see. Deontay Wilder weighed in at 226, if I'm not mistaken. That's the heaviest he's been. Well, no, it's not the heaviest he's been. I believe it was heavier against Tyson Fury in that third fight. I think he came in at 230 in that third fight. bulked up in a way that made him look like a literal action figure. I'm talking about WWE All-Stars level swelling up. This man looked like if you maxed out strength in Fight Night Round 2, anybody who played Fight Night Round 2, if you maxed out your strength in that and you saw how big your guy could get, that's what Deontay Wilder looked like in that fight with Fury in the third fight. When he said, I'm betting all on power. And I think that's when he came in the heaviest. This will be, I believe, the second heaviest he would have came in as. But I'll fact check it to make sure. But I think my memory serves me correctly. But even still, we can actually talk about that fight a little bit right now because hey, it's still championship rounds, and we just got to see it. Like Abuga said earlier in the chat, Wilder and Chisora had just finished the face-off. Now, I didn't get to see it. I was trying to pick it up while I was talking, but for lack of a better term, I wasn't able to multitask in the vein that I wanted to. But I can see if I can pull up the clip here for you all to be able to see and enjoy. Also, real quick, if this is real, per the boxing scene, we just got some news on Keyshawn Davis. Hold on a minute. Wait a second. Hold on a minute. Let's switch over to picture real quick. Hold on a minute. Let me go in. If this is true, Keyshawn Davis officially does have a fight, and he's fighting against Nair Albright. Okay, it's going down. It's going down. It's going down. May 16th. Per the boxing scene, as reported also by Everything Boxing, another who is actually a very reputable boxing social media channel. Keyshawn Davis, it looks to be set to fight Nair Albright on the zone for Top Rank May 16th in this summer as a headliner. I think for the first time in his career since the situation that he got there, he was able to headline, but missed out on the opportunity when he was going to fight De Los Santos. So now we got ourselves a main event. We got ourselves a very interesting situation. This is the same brother who fought against Frank Martin. I believe it was Frank Martin. And just about, did he beat him? Did he beat, did Albright, yeah, Albright, no, it was a draw, wasn't it? Was that fight with Albright and Frank Martin, was that a draw or was that a win for Albright? I can't remember. I want to say they ruled it a draw. But either way, this fight is happening. And it's going down. And we get to see Keyshawn Davis back for the first time since his fight with Jermaine Ortiz that had everybody not just in shock and awe, but completely enamored with the stardom of Keyshawn Davis yet again, and had them starting calling out everybody under the sun. Now we got themselves a fight. So, hey, more power to them. Can't wait to see it. May 16th. That looks like to be the day, and it's going down. And we're excited to witness it. No question about it. But let me keep on reading you all's thoughts and opinions. And let me see. Yes, Chisora came out with a, hold on. He came out with a what? He came out with the Tyson Fury mask. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, he playing mind games now. He trying to play mind games. He using the whole situation of Ryan Garcia, not Ryan Garcia. He's using the situation of Derek Chisora going through and being on the same show with Pierce Morgan, seeing how riled up Deontay Wilder still gets from the likes of Tyson Fury, that whole situation. And now he's trying to get in his head, and now he's trying to go and make it so that he makes him overcommit and frustrated for when they actually do fight each other. Let me see. There is. I'm trying to find the. Good gosh, has nobody uploaded the thing? Has nobody uploaded any clips for that? Has nobody uploaded anything from Deontay Wilder? And the Chisora press conference. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the clip so you all can actually see it. As I'm getting it together, I'll keep on reading your chats and responses on the show while I'm pulling up the clip right now. I got Keyshawn by unanimous decision against Nair. He's such a weird style. I mean, he is such a weird style, and it's weird because the timing is awkward. When he throws his power shots is so strange. When he chooses to go about offensively trying to push the pedal to the metal. It's such a strange rhythm. I've said that every time I watch him fight. And it's almost annoying, but it is so damaging when it does work. And it's working. Really is working. And so now against Keyshawn, he's gonna get he's gonna get done in. He's gonna get done in. Because he is better than Frank Martin. The stuff that Frank Martin struggled with, Keyshawn's not gonna struggle with. That awkward timing, Keyshawn's probably not gonna have the same level of issue and problem. On top of the fact that what Albright likes to do, like he did against Frank Martin, inside the clinch, and on the inside when you're trying to get and jockey for position, he loves to throw. He loves to throw when y'all exit. He try to keep the pressure on. You can't do that against Keyshawn Davis. Not if you're Albright. Because if Albright misses like he was missing Wildy in some of those exchanges on the inside, when he was trying to catch him on the way out, he's getting put down. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. So he better be careful. Albright better be careful. He gonna be singing in the hospital if he takes those types of chances against Keyshawn Davis. I'll tell you that right now. I can promise you that. That awkwardness is going to be, because unlike Emmanuel Neverete, that awkwardness doesn't work. It works in his favor, but it's only going to work up to a point when he reaches a certain threshold. Keyshawn Davis is that threshold, and they gonna work this time. And plus, he's got bad blood with his brother. Don't forget, Albright beat Keyshawn Davis' brother. That's why he got jumped in the locker room. And so by Keyshawn and his brothers. So Keyshawn been wanting to put belt to butt for a mighty long time, going up against Albright. And now they got that history. They got that bad blood. They got that beef. And they gonna go at it. They gonna go down. Oh, it's gonna be damaging. Oh, you better believe fireworks about to ensue. Fireworks are about to ensue. I can't wait for it. It's exciting. It's exciting. Let me see. Keyshawn and Albright already fought, but it makes sense that Keyshawn won in the first time. Then Albright fought Keyshawn's brother, knocked him out, and now Keyshawn got mad and jumped him out of the fight. Yeah, and so bad blood. There's history. There's a lot of history there. And Albright probably feeling himself with how he was able to perform against Frank Martin at 140. I had to make sure I had the divisions right. At 140. So, mark my words. He is well and good in his right to feel like I want my revenge and I want my get back for what you did disrespecting me when you jumped me in the locker room. So he wants to go for blood. He wants to work. And he wants that smoke. He does. And I can't wait for it. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. No question about it. But let me keep on reading your chats and responses on this championship rounds edition of the show. Don't forget, we still want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show. The more you like and the more you share, the more we get this out to the algorithms all across the globe. And one click makes a world of difference for this channel, and we appreciate it so much if you could help us out by hitting the like button and sharing the show. Let me see. That's right. He did beat his brother. Oh boy, it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good one. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. He gonna try to destroy him. He gonna try to kill him. He gonna try to instead of he gonna try to kill him. He gonna try to kill him. He's gonna try to kill him. And Albright's gonna try to kill Keyshawn. Because Albright, on top of losing to Keyshawn before, got jumped for beating his brother, and now he's like, nah, you went, and as a man, in his mind, you disrespected me. All I did was did my job, and you felt some type of way. I made you lose money before, I'm going to make you lose money again. And I'm going to beat you and your brother. And now, what y'all going to do? By yourselves, he going to say, y'all can't whoop me. Yes, we know Keyshawn whooped him before, but now he's got even more incentive to say, I'm going to get my get back and prove this whole family wrong. Oh, it's a family built grudge. It's a family grudge that they have against him and that he's got against them. Oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I can't wait to see it. It would be ironic if Albright knocks out Brother, if he knocks out Keyshawn Davis, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If we saw Albright knock out Keyshawn Davis, that would be a sight to behold. Now, he can do it because he was able to rock Frank Martin. Almost got Frank Martin out of there and knocked him out. Rocked him a couple times in that fight, actually. And Frank Martin got knocked out in the last time by Tank Davis. I believe the only time he's been knocked out before. So he's got carrying power that at least has been able to do something similar. Not knocking out, but hurting severely. Late in the fight, mind you. The same buddy who got hurt and knocked out by Tank. And the way he throws his punches, yeah, if you ain't careful, you can get caught. That's why that awkward nature comes into play, because when he does throw his power, it's at such an awkward cadence that if he does connect, you are not prepared for it. You're not prepared for it. That's the bad thing about Albright. If he hurts you, it's because you ain't ready. It's because you got tagged and you were unprepared for that punch coming, because it's such a strange rhythm. It's a strange song in his head that's able to make it so that when you think he's stepping off the gas pedal, he's actually turning it up. Then he'll stay turning it up. And then he'll back off, and now you're like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's coming at me. And that's what he can do. So he can get incredibly dangerous. Let me see. We would have some uncomfortable conversation if Key gets knocked out by Albright. Oh, we would. No, be clear. That's not even a question. If he got knocked out by Albright, that would be a major concern in the trajectory of Keyshawn Davis and his career as it stands right now. That's not me trying to be mean. We will be seeing a whole bunch of people come out and saying, oh gosh, we thought this buddy was supposed to give anybody above 140 real work. We were ready for him to take on the globe. What happened to the man that was supposed to be the it guy in boxing? That was supposed to be the man that can go through and run the table. Devin Haney, you were in trouble. Everybody, they're in trouble. It was supposed to be like that. If we saw the knockout of Albright on Keyshawn, that's what it would be like. That's exactly what it would be like. Also, why am I not seeing any clips from this stinking thing? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to figure this out. For some reason, I cannot find any clips of this face-off between Chisora and Deontay Wilder as they are going through, unless they haven't posted anything yet. I don't know if I can show the live stream outright, because I don't know if I have the rights to that outright. That's the question. That's the concern. I'm scared. There we go. Okay, here we go. Took me a minute. I don't know. Good gosh. Lord. Took me a while. Okay, so this is what y'all were talking about when it came. Hey man, Chisora's a trip. Hold on a minute. Let me actually play this. I finally found the clips. Let me play this now for you all can see. This is what y'all were talking about with Deontay Wilder and Chisora. This is insane. This is ridiculous. I don't know. Hopefully I can play the rights. Hopefully I got the rights to play this stuff. We're gonna find out. Rather play the music, rather. Hopefully I ain't playing no music. That's terrible. So this is Deontay Wilder walking in the ring. My gosh, Derek.
Here we go.
What are you doing?
Here we go. Deontay, Derek, welcome to the Cauldron. Not always the most comfortable place to be, but the place where we are going to get some answers to some questions that people want to know. First things first, I said, Derek, is it Derek or Tyson Fury? What's going on here? Deontay, what are you making of this?
Hilarious. I ain't know it was Halloween.
See, that's why is Derek Chisora? You know what? I laugh. We laugh. It's fun to laugh. This is a ridiculous thing. We can have that outright. This is ridiculous. This is hilarious. This is absolutely funny.
We got some problems here.
This having Tyson Fury worn as a mask as if he's thinking Jason is hilarious. Absolutely. It fits Derek Chisora. Like, this is what he would do. But here's the thing. I am glad that he did this. Why? He's trolling. Yes, he's trying to be funny. Yes, he's trying to psychologically get in the head of the likes of Deontay Wilder. He wants to go and make it so that he is, frustrated. He's mad. He's feeling some type of way. He wants that. Absolutely. I want this to be the case, though. I want that to happen. I want Deontay Wilder to get mad. I want him to get upset. I want him to feel angry. I want him to get mean, because that seems to be the only way I've been able to see him turn into the old version of himself. The anger, the fury, pun intended, the animosity, the drive of rage that used to drive Deontay Wilder. Like I said, it's been lost. But if we can get a rise out of him, for Derek Chisora, it could be the very thing that needed to give Deontay Wilder a kick in the butt. Now, he's saying it's funny. He's laughing it off. Maybe he doesn't feel the type of way about it. Maybe. Maybe not. But I hope he does. I'm begging he does. I don't want to see another Deontay Wilder that is oh so friendly, but friendly to the point that he is no longer able to tap into that mode. Tap into that change in persona. Tap into the very essence of the Bronze Bomber. That alternate personality that he talks about, he's not able to tap into that. It's not there. The aggression, the unabated lack of control, in a good way, that allowed him to go guns blazing. That position in posture has been lost to Deontay Wilder. We want to see it back. We want to see him we want to see that. This is, again, mind you, you can still love the people. You can still love the opponent. I have no issue with that. You can still show love to the guy, but you've been saying you can switch it on when you need to. You can go through and turn it up when you need to. You can go through, and when it's time for me to become a killer, I can still be there. But the reality is, that's not the case. That's not true. The reality is, as much as he may want to go and say that is his MO, and say that is his diaspora of conversation, it's not true. He can't turn it on. He can't switch gears to go into that mode anymore. It's not in him. Because if it was, when we were calling for this man to retire, we would have seen it a whole lot more. And in fact, I'll even show you them in the actual stare down with each other, so you can see exactly what we're talking about. When we're saying the ability to turn it on and turn it off, I don't see it there. And I'm scared we're never going to see it there when it comes to Deontay Wilder. And I hope that this trolling by Chisora is the very kick in the butt that gets him into that mode of a killer. Because right now, with all due respect, I'm not seeing it. See, and that, how do we say this? You see this image, you see him yelling and screaming, lights are bright. And I again, skepticism, be clear. I say this as an opinion, skeptical. I don't know his mind. I don't know his psyche. I don't know any of that. I am simply speaking from an observer outside, looking into this whole situation and looking at this, because this is the final image of Wilder until Saturday. This looks hollow. It looks hollow. The show is there. The display is there. But the essence of this yell doesn't seem there anymore. The weight behind Bomb Squad doesn't feel like it's got any juice anymore. To me. Because it's lost its luster because, like I said before, he does this, and he's done this the past 5 times, and it's yet to get him a victory, let alone finally got him a knockout in an underwhelming fashion. in the one win that he did have. But it was not this type of leveling up, Super Saiyan. Oh, he's switching the gears. It feels hollow in some degree. It could be because I strongly feel something about Wilder got stripped after that Fury fight. Something about Wilder. Something about him got stripped. And this very thing that would be scaring people on the platform, shocking ring girls and even the promoters on stage because of how bombastic and how forceful and how savage when that switch did flip, he would turn into. This doesn't feel like that. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And so I'm concerned. For real. That's all I can say. I'm concerned. I really am concerned. That's why I still think Chidor's going to win. Because whatever Wilder has lost, he just hasn't gotten back. And I don't know if he can. I really don't know if he can. But let me see what you all have to say. I hate. Well, hold on. Let me go back up further. He's not locking out Keisha. I know you're talking about Albright. Yep, I hear you. All I heard about Wilder was, that if you saw the Piers Morgan interview, I'm not going to repeat what he said. Just know that brother said he was set up in the worst way possible. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know what's true or what's not true. But that is too much personal information about you and your personal escapades with past relationships. That is not something I needed to hear. Lord knows I did not need to know that. But even still, I hate the heavyweight division. No one is ever in shape. Shout out to Wilder and Usyk. I mean, and you're right. Wilder's in shape. Atama's in shape. Usyk's in shape. Fury, crazy enough, Fury is in shape. He just looks like a bag of milk, like they've been to Benitez. But he is in shape, crazy enough. He's got better stamina than most of the heavyweight division. They're not chiseled. Again, it's more, it's strength, but it's not, it's not honed in the way that you would like to. Sure, it's not. Everybody ain't looking like Ken Norton or Ali or Joe Frazier in his prime, George Foreman in there. Everybody ain't looking like that. It's a different time and age. We understand, but still. They're not as kept together. Also, Anthony Joshua, he's always fit. He takes care of his body better than most people that we have in the division today. Outright. He's insane. In terms of the work ethic. But it's the landscape of the division today. And so, but they still can't produce. It's just size over conditioning. Is the main goal of the day. But let me see. People who don't do too much talking or killers watch. I thought you knew, and I do. But see, even with this being the case, two things can be true. Talkers cannot be killers. At the same breath, people that do talk can legit be about that action. You don't mess with people that just stay silent. Yeah, you don't mess with them. And oftentimes, it is the people that talk loud that are the ones that can't really do something. But there are people that they can talk that talk and they walk that walk. Mike Tyson talked that talk and walked that walk. Ali got vilified the Kingdom Come for years because he talked that talk and walked that walk. What's my name? What's my name if you remember him fighting Cleveland? Going through and talking left, right, and center, dancing around, doing whatever he wanted. Tyson Fury. He talked a whole bunch of game, and that brother was seen for a long time as the best heavyweight in the land. And there wasn't anybody outside of maybe Anthony Joshua that we could see could beat him. And Deontay Wilder also fit that bill. He could talk, and there was a point in time he could back it up. Now, it's hollow. Now it's hollow. And so you're right, absolutely. It's not only people that don't talk. It's not the folks that act hard. It's folks that stay silent. But it is sometimes true that people that do talk, they can talk for a reason. Wilder used to be that. That's sad, but he used to be able to do that. Let me see. I forgot the Chisora fight. I'm watching the Iglesias fight. Don't tell me that fight is also this weekend. My gosh, man. Like, shoot. I'm not trying to miss out on stuff, but I'm also not trying to avoid anything. Is that fight this weekend as well? Is that fight this weekend as well? I hope not, because I am not prepared. Hold on a minute. Okay, April 9th. Thank gosh. Okay, thank goodness. Woo!
Hey, look at this. We got the
Woo! I was about to say, I was not ready because I thought him fighting against Pavel, him fighting against or is it Pavel? I think it's Pavel. Him fighting against Pavel in Canada. I thought that was this weekend as well, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with both of them. There's no way I'm going to be able to watch them both live. No way, especially if they happen at the same time." Oh gosh, I'm so glad it's next week. I'm so glad it's next week. I can't wait for next week now. But it's April 9th. Yeah. Ryan Graves, I just looked it up. It's April 9th, not April 3rd. It is next weekend, not this weekend. Just looked it up. Glad I did. Because I was about to be upset, boy. I was about to be hot. But as we continue to go through, again, we got a lot to cover in this amount of time. We also do need to discuss the other fight that also got announced. And that is more conversations with Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. Because we had to go through what we see in the thumbnail and what we see. We got to at least talk about it in some regards. And that is the question of, is Zayas too big for the likes of Jerron Boots Ennis?
Hey, look at
And
this.
it's a concern. It's a concern. And that's because, hey, it's real when we're coming to the height, the weight and size discrepancy of the likes of, of the likes of Zayas now. That boy looking mighty doughy. I said it in a bad way, but also in a good way, because I did not think Zayas was as big as he actually is when I look at him at 154. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in a couple minutes. But let me see. You don't talk about much about women's boxing. If Caroline Dubois fights Lisa Bumgarner, who wins? Oh, no, that's a 50. I've talked about that fight before. We talked about that fight when they fought, when they were on the same card with each other. We had a whole, I think a whole, 20-minute conversation involving what that fight would be like and why that fight would be so exciting. That fight could be a headliner. Listen, Bumgarner going up against Caroline Dubois, if they actually met in the ring, would be incredible. It would be incredible. Now, who would win? I'm not sure. I would say this would be the situation where Bumgarner can lose this fight. Bumgarner can get put in trouble. Bumgarner can get hurt. There's a real conversation. Bumgarner can get knocked out in this fight if she did fight Dubois. However, Bumgarner as a good puncher, you could argue in the women's division, a great puncher in her own right, with the, in my opinion, more refined technical punch selection, she could win. And I think slightly, I do mean ever so slightly, lean towards Bumgarner. But it is like 51%, 49% Bumgarner. Or 51% Bumgarner, 49% Dubois. Because what Dubois in her last fight, boy, that woman looked incredible. That woman fought incredible. In terms of looking in the ring, she was looking like, okay, yeah, I see why this fight is being talked about as a legitimate circumstance. This is dangerous. For Alicia Bumgarner, this is dangerous. This is scary. This is going to be somebody who you can argue. We've seen Alicia Bumgarner, I think she has one loss on her resume, but since she's been, moving through and being, the Bumgarner that we've seen, bombing everybody in sight, this would be somebody, hey, look, physically, I can match you. I can put you on the back burner and put you in trouble. I can hurt you. I can hurt you bad with one clean shot. I can get through your guard, and I got reach. Don't forget that. I got reach. Bumgarner got reach. I think she got a longer reach than the likes of Alicia. In terms of Caroline Dubois got a longer reach than Alicia Bumgarner. And so you walk into shots and you got to close the distance against her, boy, you can be hurt. You can get hurt bad. You can get hurt really bad. I'm talking about stun and wobble. Stun and wobble. It can get dangerous. She's not as sharp of a puncher, but she's sharp enough. She's not as clean of a puncher, but she's clean enough. She clean enough. She is clean enough. I would slightly favor Bumgarner. I would slightly favor Bumgarner. But that would be a great fight. That would be a great fight to see. Let me see. She fights this weekend. Caroline fight. I thought it was next weekend. Wait a minute. I thought that was next weekend. That's this. Dang it. The world. What is going on with me and my schedule? I knew she had a flight announced. I knew she had been doing press tours. I did not know that was this weekend. I thought that was next week. I thought that was next Friday and or Saturday. Dang. Okay, I got to make sure I keep up with that fight because that's going to be even further telling on what I can see the fight with Bumgarner being for Dubois if they did step in the ring with each other. I need to make sure I keep up with that fight. So that's this weekend. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. That helps me out a lot. I thought this was next week, so I appreciate the correction on your part in terms of Love King. Let me see. Xander might be big, but what about this? But is that size? But what is that size going to do against Boots? Well, the biggest thing that we can see that size do is potentially level the playing field in some regard. Because when we talked about Boots Ennis, again, as we're kind of switching gears to the other side of the main thumbnail equation that you came in and you clicked on for, Boots Ennis going up against Zayas, the biggest issue has been everything that Boots has fought, or everybody that Boots has fought against, he's been able to outmatch in just about every capacity. Fighting somebody that's his size, on his level, we talked about this being the biggest fight of his career in terms of the most challenging fight of Boots' career. And Zayas as an opponent is somebody who we have heard many, many, many things about him. Understandable. But we've also been seeing, what I haven't realized, that this man, he is, I thought he walked around closer to 154. This butt is looking like he borderline 200. I'm not even going front. He looking like pre-training camp, or rather getting into training camp. This man looks like he's pushing. He pushing close to at least 280, 290. I'm dead serious. I'll even let you see it for myself. Let me see. I could double check. I could be wrong. Let me double check. Hey, double check it for me. If it is to this weekend, I'll make sure that I'm able to keep up with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live stream any of these fights this weekend. If I am able to, I will update you all. But at minimum, I at least got to make sure I can keep up with them. Got to make sure I got my dates right in the first place. But again, sticking with Zayas as the conversation, this man, he's looking big. Bigger than I thought when it comes to getting ready for this fight with Boots. And it was very unexpected to me. And it brought me a little bit of concern as I can't play their music, but I can play my own because we got to go and not get copyright restricted. But this is what he looks like. This is one of the more talented, young, hungry, and genuinely driven type of fighters. I didn't realize he was this big inside the ring. I watched him before, but I think this is the first time I kind of got to see it. And it came out apparent when he was fighting. It came out really apparent when he was when he was talking in an interview with the Ring magazine, or rather on the inside of the ring. And this brother looked like, in that picture, might have been the lighting, but it looked like he was pushing 200 before cutting weight and getting ready for this fight that is happening in June. If he's carrying that type of size that I did not really establish as, okay, he's actually that massive of a fighter. The biggest person that we were talking about, and from a size perspective, was Sebastian Fundora at 154. And Fundora at 6'5", when it was clear as day, he towers over all. But now with Zayas, that same, or not the same, but a similar ground of taking a back or taking back a perspective. Okay. There might be something more to this in terms of what the ins and outs of this fight could be. I'm not saying it's going to make a big difference. Still got Boots winning. Still have Boots knocking out Zayas. Boots has been talking mighty spicy, saying that he's confident in his fight with Boots. Or rather, Zayas has been talking mighty spicy with his conversations of what I'm gonna do to Boots Ennis. As you can see, as he did have an interview in the ring, and they got it. One of the quotes that he said was, "I'm gonna rip his heart out." This is Zayas himself. This brother feeling himself saying, "I'm gonna do whatever I want to do going up against the likes of Boots Ennis, and I am going to rip his heart out of his chest when it comes to facing off in the ring with this so-called big killer in the world of boxing." And so he feels like he's got the blueprint. He's got the means to succeed, and he's got the size and talent to be able to make this possible. The biggest thing we've been saying about Boots Ennis, hey, if you're smaller than him, most likely you ain't going to beat him. You have to be able to reach his physicality as well as be able to box sublimely to be able to succeed against him. You got to. One or the other isn't enough. Some came close like Shukajan, but again, wasn't enough. We can see Xander at least have one half of the equation. Okay, I got some leverage on you in some regards. There is something more that you got to get through rather than you being the taller, longer, faster, and stronger fighter. You only got maybe 2 of the 4 big attributes in your favor. Helps out a lot in the perspective of what this fight can look like. Now, what he's got to get? Long limbs, long jab, especially with the good combination punches that we see Xander throw. He could be in some situation where, okay, hey, get Boots to have to come in. Instead of Boots being on the back foot, he's got to walk you down and mess you up. He can, but it gives you room to be able to say, okay, at least I can use my height as kind of a vantage point to make myself hard to hit and to punch where he's at. Hypothetically. Doesn't mean everything, but it does change to say, or does change some of my perceptions of the ease that I thought this fight was going to be. This fight could be a little bit harder. It could be a little bit more pressing. We could finally see the late rounds of greatness that we want to see from Boots. He's gone the distance before, yes. But against this type of level competition, we've been waiting to see, hey, brother, can you handle it? Or if it goes 12, can you still sustain and decimate your opposition? With somebody that is, before you got there, was established as, okay, this brother is something serious. People say he's too young. Ali fought at 21, 23 years old for the title. We have seen champions. Sugar Leonard, some of his biggest fights came at 23, 24. We have seen greats fight in these big-time situations early on in the past. And we laud those people as the golden age of boxing. So, maybe Xander isn't too young. Maybe this is what needs to happen. And maybe, and win, lose, or draw, this is going to be part of the growth of his career. But there may be a better opportunity for him to win because of that added size that I didn't realize that he actually had going into this fight and that he can balloon up to when he weighs in for this fight. Might be a little bit more entertaining. Could be a little bit more concerning from the standpoint of another wrinkle to the Rubik's Cube. That if we want to see Boots be great, he's got to figure this out. He can. I think he will. But it's a little bit more, another dimension that I didn't realize going into this foray of conversation with Boots and Xander. But let me see. A study of Boss versus Xander. Yeah, I do need to make sure I go back and watch that fight as I'm making my full breakdown and prediction for, when we go on live and I do the whole blown sit back and relax, and we're going to go through the entirety of how Boots can win or how Zayas can win, what each brings to the table, and then ultimately who's going to win in the end. We're going to be using that fight as a real example. Because it's going to be necessary. It will be necessary for how this can go. Let's see. Boots is going to KO him. I have a strong feeling he will. Now, I will say that added size does bring a different ledger of potential punching power. Because I can guarantee you, Zayas is probably going to come in out of the fight. He's going to come in as big as he can. He's going to weigh in at 154 on the dot. He's going to come in probably 170 or bigger. He's going to come in a whole lot bigger, almost assuredly. He's already looked like a chiseled Adonis when it comes to in the ring at 154. This fight, he's going to need all the power he can get because you have to hurt Boots. You have to. Be clear. There's no other way that we can see him win unless he's able to hurt Boots Ennis. In my estimation, gain his respect. He's got to gain his respect. Without the respect of Boots Ennis, it can be a very tough outing to have people saying, okay, hey, you can succeed and you can go and do what you need to do to get him out of there. You got to. You need it. And potentially it's going to be combination. And if we see how he's been looking in training, it's going to be combinations like this is probably going to be the thing that can make it happen. Yep. See? And that is what he's going to need to have. That conviction in punching. And again, making Boots respect him. You see, as I play the combos while I'm talking, you see the combinations if you're watching on screen. If you're listening, hey, how you doing? Hopefully leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. But we're watching some of the training footage of Zayas as he's prepping for this fight. Watching some of the preparation for this fight with Boots Ennis. And we're looking at what does Zayas need to do if he wants to have a chance to win. And I've been saying he's got to be able to sit down on his shots and test the chin of Boots, because the one thing we've been saying, and that's been used against Boots for plenty of situations in regards to what is the issue with him as his career goes forward. He is somebody that we've seen is complacent to get hit. He's willing to eat punches because he feels you can't hurt him. Did it against David Avanesian, did it against Shukajan. He done it against Lima. He didn't do it against Lima as much. He didn't do it against Staniotis. He's gotten better. But he used to do that all the time, without fail. He would go through and you could almost bet he won't get cracked with something, but it ain't going to face him. Roman Villa. Or was it Roman Villa or Ramon Villa? I think it's Roman Villa. He went 8 shots against him. Granted, he was able to fight in slow motion because it was easy, but if he didn't feel that Villa could do anything. And Villa was a legitimate hard puncher at 147. He was annoyed by Sugar John landing shots on him in both of their fights. But he took them because he was like, you can't do nothing with me. If you can hurt him, though, get him to respect you, all of a sudden that can change the dynamics of what this fight can be. It really can. And if I can find the quote that Xander had talked about when going up against Boots Ennis, I can also play that as well on this show because he had talked about his confidence level and what he can see going about and why Boots gets hit too much. And when I find that clip, I'll play it with you all. But let me see. The thing that gives Boots problems is when he tries to go toe-to-toe with the fighter but can be caught with some good shots while trading. It doesn't seem like Boots likes any head movement. He likes head movement when he's getting out the way. But he doesn't like it when an opponent makes him have to work to get hit. Shukajan is the biggest example of the worst aspects of Boots' game, or rather the impatience of it all. The impatience of it all. He's the worst example of that entire issue with Boots Ennis. When his opponent makes him have to work to get hit, and you're just not succumbing to his power, He does not like that. He doesn't. It's a pet peeve. It's an annoyance. It's in his mind, you are not and should not be good enough that I gotta work to make it so that you feel my punches. You should just be sitting there because I'm better than you and you know it, and let me take you out. And if you apply resistance or make me have to sweat, guess what? I feel some type of way. Because this should not be hard. Because I know I'm better than you. Watch how he fights. That in those at 147. That was the aura. That was the moniker. That was the concern. He's talking to the crowd. He's looking every other way. He's eating punches and rolling his eyes. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's still around. Why is he still here? What the world? He should be gone by now. This crowd's buzzing because you hear the crowd going and cheering, and they're like, this man isn't hurting me. Why are y'all giving him respect? And he's nothing to me. That is the persona that Boots brings to the ring. He can talk about respecting opponents outside the ring, and I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I'm talking about inside the ring. He doesn't respect him if you watch him fight. Watch him fight. He doesn't respect his opponent. You are beneath him if you're Boots Ennis. That's how he feels. How dare you give me resistance and think you're good enough to make me sweat? These fools can never make me sweat. To quote Madara from Naruto, you dare make me work as a boxer that I'm in conversations for the best in the land and people don't even know your name? How dare you? That's how he approaches inside the ring when somebody gives him a tough time. That same frustration leads to complacency. And it's led to him getting tagged with stuff he shouldn't get hit with. And against Xander, it can work. But if Xander can make him so that he's got to respect him, all of a sudden that changes Boots' style a little bit. That changes his approach a lot. That does a lot for Xander. And if the power that if the size that we see him potentially going to be coming in as works, it can change in his favor. Let me see. Xander doesn't have the qualities to do that. Even he doesn't even like dealing with pressure. That's the one thing that's going to cost him in this fight. Well, he's going to have to suck it up. I'm not going to lie. He's going to have to suck it up. He's going to have to suck it up. He better be able to impose some sort of physical will. Because if he can't, I don't think he's good enough to be elusive, moving and doing a lot of head movement. From the perspective of dealing with the speed that Boots will provide. He is a good boxer, absolutely. We talked about it. I love Xander Zayas. But also, I am not above understanding the limitations of him as a fighter. The limitations of him and his abilities. Him using head movement, trying to be elusive, is not his MO. It's not the best thing for him. And more importantly, he uses a whole lot of energy if he tries to do it. And now you get tired and you're trying to get away from stuff and it ain't working. Now you, just like when he fought against a boss, pressure, power, body attack, and relentless will all of a sudden changes everything. And it makes you have to go into a war that now you don't even have the power to be able to, or you don't have the stamina to carry the power needed to push him off of you. Now, he showed grit. He showed heart. He showed the qualities of a champion. That's not going to get any disrespect from me. But there is a level to this. And with Boots, that's the level. That is the level. Let me see. You talking about the 170. Yeah, that's what Xander can come into. He can come into the fight at 170. He really can. And I think Xander is 5... And he's 6 feet or 5'11". Let me see. How tall is Xander? Xander's Zayas' height. He is 5'10". 5'10", about 75-inch reach. So 5'10", 5'11", but depending on who is reporting, 74 to 75-inch reach. I think Boots is about 5'8", with a 73 2-inch reach. I think. I could be wrong. But again, don't quote me. Look it up. Find out for yourself and make sure I'm correct. But either way, he's going to need to be somebody substantial. He's going to need to be somebody that is, in fact, able to put in some work. If he can't, it can be really bad. It can get very, very bad. Let me see. You can't say he still does that. You know, you right. Hey, look, hey, you got me. You right. The tense is the wrong word. He still does have that problem. In terms of Boots Ennis, it's not as egregious because he has changed. If we're talking about Boots in reference to this comment, but it still is there. It has gotten better, but it's still there. Because it's still there, it can still be exploited. Because it can be exploited, there's a window of opportunity. There is small, but it's there. And if Zayas takes the leap, because he's going to need to take a leap in this fight, I'm going to be clear. The only way he can win, he's going to need to take a jump in his own ability. Because he's going up against somebody who, from a talent perspective, is looked at as the end all be all, the big kahuna, the best talent in this division, without a doubt, no question. And it's somebody that will be able to, if it goes wrong, this fight can end quick. If it goes bad, this fight can end in a hurry. If it goes bad, this can have everybody saying, wait a minute, Zayas is 4 or 5 rounds. He's out of there. He's gone. What a performance by Boots Ennis. What a dominating display by one of the more prolific talents in this sport. And everybody's looking at him on pins and needles saying, my goodness, this man is better than I ever thought. And he's bigger than I ever dreamed. And he's going to be something spectacular.
With Virgil.
And he's going to be incredible. Genuine. And so there's, every day we see this fight get closer. The more and more we're getting privy to looking at this as a changing of the guard in some ways. In many ways. A slight switch of conversation, but it still is correct. There's a changing of the guard. There's a structure that has the public saying, we not only see you as a real valuable ability in terms of a fighter. Winner of this now gets put in that spotlight. Either the young big star beats perceivedly the best talent or one of the 3 best talents purely in boxing and turns himself into a household name that the globe witnesses and wants to pay left, right, and center. And we have a new face that everybody knows. Or Boots takes his seat in the boxing eye, or in the boxing public's eye, as, all right, it is his era to rule now. This next generation, because he's only, 30 years old, this next era in boxing most likely will be highlighted by the career of Boots being one of the 3 main characters that everybody has to follow and everybody wants to see. That's what's most likely going to happen and come about with this fight taking place, if it does indeed take place at all. And if it does, hey, phenomenal. If it doesn't,
this fight was made without a hitch.
It can be a little bit damaging.
It was an easy negotiation. I feel like we both wanted to fight. There are no buts. There's no,
because everybody's saying,
what if? We both want to fight. Let's make it happen.
It can be a failure.
The fans want it.
In terms of the expectations for Boots being, people see it as now, oh, we bought into you and you failed the test that most people felt you needed to pass. To be clear, he does need to beat Zayas. It's more than just a situation of This is a big fight, and we want to see Boots win. He needs to beat him. He needs to beat him. He's got to beat him. If he doesn't beat him, he's going to get killed by the public. He will. Tell me I'm wrong. If he doesn't beat him, tell me Boots doesn't get killed by the public. Tell me Boots doesn't get called a fraud. Tell me Boots gets called everything under the sun. You should have never been in conversation with Terrence Crawford. You should have never been talked about as one of the best talents in the world. You are nothing but a hype job. Tell me that is not what's going to be said about Boots Ennis if he loses to Xander Zayas. You can't, because you know what's going to happen. Sure, I'm unbiased. Sure, I try to keep that same moniker. Absolutely. I say he can grow. I say this is what happens when you take on the best of the best. We want to see you come back. You can still be as great as we've been talking about, even though you lost. Because everybody's going to lose at one point in time, most likely if you're fighting against top-tier competition. I have no problem if he does lose. But the rest of the boxing world, my gosh, they're going to eat him alive. They're going to eat him alive. Eat him alive. With a fight that, as much as it's an exciting affair, people are looking at this for the majority. It's a given. Let's be real. It's a given that people will have Boots most likely winning this fight in a lot of people's minds. It's a showcase for a lot of people. It's an important showcase. It is a necessary showcase. It is a valuable showcase, but a showcase nonetheless. And if he fails in this showcase that's supposed to just show Boots is here, it's going to be bad. It can be really bad. But either way, there's a lot that we can talk about with this whole situation. It's a lot going into it. Let me see. Hey, Wise Man, what's going on with you? Welcome back to the show. We appreciate you tuning in on the live stream. We're excited that you're here, and we can't wait to see you come through. And we're so animated to see what you got to say on the day. Xander will do just fine. People are making it sound like he doesn't belong in there with Boots. Let's see how they look leading up to the fight. And be clear, he does belong because he's unified champ. He's got the bulk of the belts in this division. I misspoke when I talked about Sebastian Fundora being two-belt champion. It's Xander that's got the most gold right now. And he deserves to be seen at least as the second best in this division right now. Because he's actively been moving quick, trying to get titles, accolades, and gain control. He's been working. You can say he's not the best talent, but he is indeed top 5. You can say whatever you want about him. He deserves to be in the elites because he is elite. At 23, he's elite. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. He's elite. If he does lose to Boots, this is a good win. If he does fall to Boots Ennis, this is a quality win. There's nothing about this fight that would say that this isn't a great matchup. You can say that Boots is that Zayas is too early for this fight, but like we said before, other fighters have fought this level of competition in the past at 23 years old. And we call them all-time greats like Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard or otherwise. So, I'm not mad at the age he's getting in the ring with. Because this is what he's, if you're champ, this is what you sign up for. We've talked about this also. If you're champion, this is what you get. You're going to get people that are great, that may outclass you. And you got to be a champion and overcome it. You have to. You have to. And we don't want people ducking. We don't want people avoiding competition. Because that's how we got to these big-time fights never actually happened. Because they kept saying, I'm not ready. He's not ready. She's not ready. They ain't ready. Everybody ain't ready. Nobody's ready. It makes no sense. That was the problem. And so we're getting what we wanted. People young, hungry, fighting other young, hungry guys. As champion, not sitting on the belts, but looking to make a statement. So be clear, I've said, I can say that Boots is better. That doesn't mean that Virgil doesn't belong. He does belong. Because he's the man to beat. He's the guy. He is the man that in this fight holds all the cards. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Let me see. Hopefully Virgil is training behind the scenes. He possibly is knowing that all this is happening now. He better be. I mean, he better be. And also, let me see. I got Boots knocking out Xander in 3 rounds. And if he does knock him out in 3, that would be insane. That would be ridiculous. That would be preposterous. But it's like, this is, whatever you feel is what's going to happen in this fight. This is what we wanted. And be clear, this will be the last thing I say about Xander as I play this clip real quick. This type of mentality is what we have wanted from boxers all the time, and that we just weren't getting. And now with Xander, we're getting. And some people are saying like, don't push the button. This is what we want fighters to talk like and move like in this division. And Alexander say exactly what I mean as he eloquently puts, we both wanted this fight, and there's no need to duck.
It appears this fight was made without a hitch. Fairly simple behind the scenes, which was a far different case than what Ennis experienced negotiating with Virgil. Why do you think that was the case, and what do you make of this?
Like you said, it was an easy negotiation. I feel like we both wanted to fight. There are no buts. There's no what ifs. We both want to fight. Let's make it happen. The fans want it. Why not make it happen? With Virgil, well, I guess that happened every time there was a conversation of a big fight with him. He always wanted it too much of his way and never wanted to be, he didn't want to play the game. He didn't want to play the game. He only wanted to play his game, and that's why he never got a big fight. It was super easy. I feel like not just me, but the whole team, everybody behind the scenes, Jerome Boots and his team, they can tell you it was just fairly easy conversation. We both wanted it, and we both made it happen. That's what it comes down to. When both fighters want it, it's an easy conversation to have.
So this is the type of mentality, movement. This is the type of pressure we want fighters to put other fighters under. Hey, we want smoke. I want smoke. Let's forget all trying to make stuff frustrating. Make the fights happen. And now we're getting these types of fights with Boots and Virgil and a bunch of others around the boxing scene. In a way, Nakatani, Ben Rodriguez moving up to get ready to fight somebody, Zerto fighting Benavidez. We're getting quality affairs. Teo and Shakur, it ain't hard. Really isn't hard. To just make stuff happen. And finally, we're getting it. So I'm so excited. I am so excited for it. Let me see. It's the same with Abdullah and Keyshawn. Why are y'all scared if he fights Keyshawn if Abdullah is a champion? And so, and I get it. I completely understand. I would say the only pushback to that was I was saying with Keyshawn moving up to 140. We had seen Stephen Fulton win at 126 and then move up to 130 against somebody. Okay, that's a different landscape. If he's going to fight him up there, it could be a problem. And so I don't think he's ready for that jump up. But if he fought him at 135, okay, and you the champ, well, so be it. Go ahead. I may feel that Abdullah isn't ready for Keyshawn yet, and I may feel that he's got some more room to grow, but if the fight comes around and you don't have room to take a tune-up, well, it's got to happen. At least if you say you ain't ready, give me a timeline to say when you are. That's the biggest issue. I'm all for somebody understanding, hey, there's a certain level I'm not at. And at the same time saying, I'm going to get there. You give me X, Y, Z amount of time, I'll get there. Look at what we're saying with Moses Atama. Moses Atama was saying, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to be great, and I want to take on as much people as possible. Usyk is he's in a different stratosphere. I'm trying to get there, but I'm going to get there as quick as I can. And now all of a sudden, he got the wins that he needed. And then it's, okay, well, Caballero, you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad fight. We're trying to schedule another fight going through, and I wouldn't be mad at getting in a fight with the Caballero. And when I'm here now, it's time to work. It's not just about, being able to successfully take on all challengers. Absolutely. We've even seen the likes of Mike Tyson as he was moving up through the ranks. There were people that cussed him out who said, hey, you shouldn't fight yet because you're not ready for that yet. But the process of moving up should not, if you do it right, it works perfectly. Works perfectly. And then when you ultimately get to that spot like necessary, okay, now you're ready for everybody. Not mad at that. What I'm mad at is when you are ready and you don't move. As champion, you're going to have to take on whoever you got to take on. I understand that. But everything else, it's like we understand this is a process to grow, but at the same time, when you get there, yeah, it's smoke for everybody. For Abdullah, it is smoke for everybody. No matter how much I feel he may not be ready for one person or another, it's smoke for everybody because you're champ. You're champ. You got power. You got negotiation ability. You have the backbone of I am the man in this division because I hold the gold to help you get the most out of it. But ultimately, even with that power, you still got to use it correctly because we can still call you a duck if you ain't fighting people that you should be fighting as champion. We don't want you ducking smoke and you still got a throne to defend. You still got gold around your waist and you still got a kingdom that people still trying to attack. You can't go into just straight up trying to dome up and shell up. You got to fight them and beat them off. You gotta back them away. You got to beat them and take over their kingdom. You got to move like an empire. You got to move like an empire. You have to move like an empire. And what does the empire do? It grows. It grows. It builds itself up with this new territory, and then it grows again. That's what we got to see happen. And that's what I think we're going to see happen in one way or another. Not just with this Boots and the Zayas fight, but with any fight for that, man. That's what I can see taking place. No question about it. Let me see. Who did Xander win the WBO against? If you think about it, during that time, just seemed like Xander was spoofed the belt. Now, granted, we did say one of those titles was a formality because we knew he was going to win. I forget the brother's name. It wasn't a boss. It was somebody else. The first championship that he won. We knew he was going to win. We knew, I knew that. And I was not upset at him getting the title. I'm surprised it wasn't Virgil Ortiz that got that belt instead. But even still, he went and got it. So, even if it's formality, that yeah, we know you're going to beat him. We know you're going to be champ, but even still, he got it. He went and grabbed it. That's the thing. He went and did it. That's what we've been asking for. Just do it. If you do it, the rest of the stuff will come, but you just do the stuff. Other people, they don't do the stuff. And so that's why I'm like, I don't hold that against him. Oh, you fought somebody that was light work for you, and it was like essentially a formality that you were going to get the title. He was. But it was still a man to beat. And you can only face off against who's in front of you. And after that, you still win. Faced off against a boss who had a reputation of being hard, a stringent pressure fighter. Overcome that test. Now you're unified. Now you hold half the belts in the entire division, and now you're going at the Boots. As you're moving forward, we watched him continue to elevate and work to push the pace. So he didn't go the easy route and then just sit down. He kept on moving, which I'm excited for. Absolutely. Let me see. Coach Eddie, welcome to you. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us all today. We are in the championship rounds. We want to hear from you in all things boxing and beyond. We love it and we appreciate it. And if you can, support the channel. Hey, Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description, as well as super chats, gifts and stickers, all that stuff. If you can support the channel, it would mean the world to me because we can't do this without you all. We're funded by the public, and we're going to give you all the best entertainment possible to make it worth your while to give homes to the empire, as well as just you share the show and keep on liking the stream. Helps us out immensely to let the public see exactly what we got going on, and we love it and we appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and jab the like button, knock it out, break it if you got to make it so so that you're ensured that this show is the hottest show in all of the globe for the masses to see. But let me keep on reading you all's chats and responses in the chat section. Xander will jab and grab and get stopped. I don't know if he will grab as much. Now, he might if he gets hurt, or if the speed of Boots starts to feel like, okay, hey man, I need to recoup myself, and I got a hold. Maybe. Now I don't see him doing a Devin Haney and clinching after every jab, stifling the offense every time out. I don't see that. I don't see that. I hope we don't see that. I really do. I really hope we don't see that. But what I do think we will get is somebody who will work from the outside, using that combination punching and using his length to be able to make Boots get caught with something coming in. Because I don't think he's going to pressure Boots Ennis. I think he's really going to try to box him. Really try to box him. But he's going to have to hurt him to get the ultimate ability to be successful. That's been my whole MO of this entire situation. But I do agree with you. I think he's going to get stopped. But let me keep on reading. Virgil Ortiz was coming off of the win with Majimov. And Xander fought Jorge Garcia Perez. Jorge had already had 4 defeats. And Abbas won the belt, but was not an elite opponent. That's why I don't give the flowers. And I mean, so essentially you're saying Zayas did cleanup crew, if you want to go that regard. The lack of respect comes from him doing the cleanup work for the bottom tier of the division. He was moving momentum. He was so young, fighting, getting into championship territory. You had Fundora at the top. Of course, you had Ortiz. Then you had, before Boots got there, it was still Majimov, Boachuk, Adams was still there. You had names, absolutely. And he was working his way up to the top of trying to get into those vicinity of names. But championship opportunities came about. Virgil was locked up. Majimov again had just fought. Perez already lost 4 times. Abbas, I think, was undefeated, but wasn't seen as elite, even though he was champion. He was good. He was a hard out, but he wasn't on that same level as the top tier of said division. Even though he was somebody that was a threat, just not that threat like the ones up there. I still think that should gain some respect. That does not mean we're putting him in the same category as, say, a Virgil Ortiz from a skill perspective. It should. Nor the what we've seen with Fundor. It shouldn't get him that. But to go about and still make the accomplishments, at least against a boss who I respect as, that's a good win. It's not up here, but it's a good win. I would say at least something was proven to say that, okay, there's viability to this youngest champion, or formerly the youngest champion in boxing. There's some viability to this man has something special. May not be the most special thing, but there is something there. And by that metric, I got to ask you, if we then see Boots beat him, will he get respect? Will you respect this win for Boots if he beats Zayas? Since you said he hasn't really done a lot to gain the respect of you in terms of Zayas and his skill level, Zayas and his capacity for elite. So you say no. So you say no, this win won't give Boots the respect that you're looking for. It's going to be most likely for a Ortiz or a Fundor. Once he gets up there, that's when you'll give the respect, I assume. Once he gets those kind of fights. Even would the bar be a Majimov or a Boachuk or a Josh Kelly? I think that's what we need to find the bar for Boots. If this win against Zayas isn't going to be enough to get the respect, because Zayas, in your opinion, shouldn't earn the respect. I'm not going against the sentiment. I respect the opinion. I don't agree, but I respect the opinion. But I need to know what's the bar that we do need to see Boots cross into. If unification isn't enough and beating somebody who formerly was the youngest champion in the world and is seen as a top 5 caliber fighter in this division, at least because of the belts and because of his combined talent. If this isn't enough because of the wins that he's had that hasn't reached the heights of other better people in this division, what would be the bar for Boots to have to win to get that respect if Zayas isn't enough? Let me see. Majimov is a great opponent for the simple fact that he knows how to move his head. Now, I've said that Majimov is the X factor in this division for Boots Ennis, which is understandable because he brings up the same stuff that Shukajan fought and that Shukajan beat. However, he's only reigned in the division for a blue moon. We don't even know who he fought against to beat for the title at 154. I can't remember his name. The respect was still there. The talent, we saw it. But the name-wise, it wasn't any of the guys that we're talking about now. Though the talent was worthwhile. And he lost to Virgil Ortiz. He lost to Boots. Or he lost to Crawford. So theoretically, you could argue he's 1 for 3 in the 3 biggest fights of his career. So amongst that elite level, he hasn't even been as successful. So should he belong as a viable legacy addition? If we're following the logic of what you're saying about Xander Zayas, and he hasn't done enough, where Majimov has been up there, great amateur record, but he's also against the best in the land, hasn't been able to cut the mustard. And if we're saying Boots is as good as we said he is, would he scratch that itch of ability and success to give him the respect of you beat good names and you are a good fighter and you have titles, hence you should be able to be successful? If so, great. If not, we continue the conversation about what the bar is. Let me see. Majimov almost put belt on Boots, and that's what. Oh, okay. So even in the loss, the performance against Boots helped to solidify. Okay, this man he's legit. Subsequently, yes, he lost to Virgil Ortiz as well, but that performance against Boots kind of put him on the wide public map and showed, okay, this man is something serious. And I agree. I do agree. Because like I said, even in defeat, it does not always mean you just aren't successful or you aren't a good fighter. So I can agree with that. I can see where you're coming from. I can understand it. Now again, I still think Zayas fits that mold of I can respect that win. But if you don't, like I said, I can't fight with you. Because everybody's got their own opinions of greatness. I can feel how I feel, and I can definitely argue it. But I can see the perspective of where you're coming from why you would need more from Boots or from Zayas to fit that mold. Now, if Zayas wins, well, that's the win we've been looking for. If he does that. But let me see. Crawford says Boots gonna lose. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Let me see if I can pull it up. Crawford said that Boots is going to lose to Xander Zayas when asked about the performances or his performance against him and whether or not we could see him win. Let me see if I can actually find that. It was a tweet. I think it was a tweet. He had put out a tweet over social media when somebody asked him a bunch of questions, and he was saying that he feels that Xander would be able to take out Boots Ennis. Which, for me, I love Virgil Ortiz. Not Virgil Ortiz. I do love Virgil Ortiz. I love Terrence Crawford, excuse me. I'm thinking of multiple things back to back. But I love Terrence Crawford. But I think that's ridiculous. I do think that's ridiculous. Unless he sees something in regards to Boots getting hit so much as still a concerning sentiment, even with the improvement that he's made defensively, he thinks that Zayas, with his own physical ability, will be able to take advantage of that and put him out or box him better than we think. Maybe that's what he's seeing. Maybe that's what he's witnessing. Maybe that's the frustration, or rather, maybe that is the reason as to why he can see that win. Now, me, I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. Let me see. Crawford is a hater of Boots. Is he a hater? They've had beef. Now, granted, I haven't followed their back and forth with each other as much, only because it seemed like they were never in the same vicinity to get stuff going with each other when both of them kind of arrived on the scene. Crawford was fighting Spence when Boots was getting hot, and then when Boots fully got in the public eye, Crawford had retired after beating Canelo. So, maybe he is. Maybe, I'll say maybe, out of respect that I'm not entirely sure. I hope not. And shoot, I hope we see if Boots does win against Zayas and keeps on winning at 154, maybe that's the very thing to get Crawford out of retirement and make him fight against him. Maybe. So if this is a grudge match, I hope it does build, because I want to see them fight against you. I would love to see that. But let me see. The thing is, Boots should have fought somebody a long time ago. Instead, we're waiting on him to get a good name. With his record already 30 and something. That is true. That is true. I feel like Stanley Owens is a good name. But even with that being said, the elite of the divisions as a whole, we wanted him to get through. We did. And he didn't do. Wasted time. Lollygagged in a lot of degrees. Didn't get fights. Some people said he was avoided. Others say he just was procrastinating. Both can be true. But all encompassing his own push to greatness. He did drag his feet. I can attest to that. He was avoided by people. But he also drug his feet in regards as well. Wasn't making noise. Wasn't calling people out. Wasn't moving in the way of, I'm trying to get a title now. Was really going through and fighting folks that he did not need to fight at that point in time in his career. You are 30 years old and you got 30 fights on your resume. Mind you, by fight 25, or at least by fight 20, that's known when we see people flushly in the championship picture. Comparatively, Roy Jones Jr. was eking up into title opportunities by fight 14. We are not comparing eras because it was a different time, but we are comparing runs that we know need to take place. And for Boots, it's now or never. It's now or never. Hopefully, this now boom that we're seeing from Boots Ennis, where he's looking to get titles, get belts, move and work and be something great, it is going to pan out. Lord willing, I hope it does. I really do hope it does. And it keeps on compounding on itself. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. I've seen a post about Crawford having surgery on his arm or shoulder. True or false? That might be true. Now, he might have gotten surgery, but it was because of a lingering injury. I don't know if it means he's coming back. I think it's more so just to fix an issue that he's had lingering for a long time. Let me see. I can look that up real quick to make sure if that's real or not. Whether or not he got surgery. He did have surgery. It was on a shoulder issue. Excuse me. He had surgery on his shoulder for an issue that had been lingering on March 25th, so late last month. Everything's going well. He's focused, recovering, and everything passed the test, and he's all well and good, and he's at home right now. That does not mean that he is coming back. Be clear. That does not mean that he is coming back to boxing. As much as we would love to say that may show some signs of rejuvenated life, and that Crawford, he got his stuff fixed and now the itch is back again. Don't buy into it. Most likely he's gone. Most likely he gone. He gonna stay gone unless something brings him back. Most likely he's not. He gonna stay out. If he does come back after surgery and says, you know what, I'm feeling great. It's time for me to return. I got something left in the tank and my body feels good. Then maybe we can get these dream fights we've been asking for, that we've been waiting on, that we've been hoping that we can see take place. But right now, as much as I would love to say that is going to see a comeback, most likely, I'm not going to buy into it up until he says it. And if he says it, oh, this internet's going to blow up. The globe is going to explode. Everybody's going to be up in arms. It's going to be insane pandemonium. If we do see Crawford say, you know what, I'm back. And we could see it. But at the same breath, I'm scared because I am going to say how long he's out the ring may dictate whether he should come back at all, because he's already 38 years old. If he stays out the ring for more than a year, mind you, he normally fights one time a year. So if he doesn't come back this year, most likely he ain't coming back at all. Pushing it maybe 2029. Not 2029. Pushing it until maybe he's 39. But if it's not by 39, I don't see him ever coming back. I think that ship will sail and it will never return. I strongly believe, because he is, part of the reason why he was able to do what he was doing was, in terms of being so dominant, he was taking care of his body and he was consistently prepping. But once you stop that rhythm, once you stop that pace of work, once you stop the process, once you stop the process, like now you're out of it. Once you stop the preparation, you're gone. Now, you may be able to still restart it, come back and do what you need to do, but oftentimes that's it. That is it. George Foreman, 15 years later, being able to be champion again is a rare feat. Bernard Hopkins won it at almost 50 and at 46. But the difference was he was fighting the entirety of the time. He fought until 50, not taking breaks. It's rare to take a break and then be able to come back and still be what you need to be. We just saw with Keith Thurman, 3 years out the ring, but is younger than Terrence Crawford. That brother got destroyed, and we dare say he shouldn't be fighting anymore. So I don't know. I don't think, if he doesn't come back by the age of 39, I don't think he's coming back at all. I strongly don't believe he's coming back at all if he doesn't come back by then. Because I think his body won't be able to do what he needs to do anymore. And it's a pipe dream. It's a good dream. It's a dream I want to happen. But it's a dream that most likely it won't. Most likely it won't take place. Most likely. If it does, though, you'll hear it from us first. I guarantee you. No question about it. But we still got more stuff that we can talk about on this show today. Let me see. Burr, I just don't agree on them calling Virgil a prospect, because I know deep down Fundora does not want to fight Virgil. Even if he tried to get the belt, Fundora is going to choose another opponent. Well, speaking of another opponent for Fundora, we already got Fundora potentially going through and get ready to fight somebody else. As per Eddie Hearn, it looks like Sebastian Fundora is in talks with another fight directly after his fight with Keith Thurman, and that is Josh Kelly. Yes, indeed. And if this takes place, I told you all, this is what could go down when it comes to Fundora, Boots, Ortiz, and that whole saga of Undisputed coming to a head with an ultimate crescendo between two of the best of those 3 or 4 Russian roulettes, with Zayas also in the picture. And I'll let Eddie Hearn tell you exactly what's getting ready to happen and how Fundora looks like he's going to go for unified himself in his next fight against Josh Kelly.
you know, for Josh now, we kind of, after that fight was made, we're talking about a voluntary defence in July. And then Adam Booth phoned me up and said, look, let's make the Fundora fight. So we've had very, very early conversations with BBC about that. They're very interested. And I said, let's make Josh Kelly against Fundora, and then the winner fights the winner of Boots Zayas for the undisputed. So, I mean, that would be a very natural thing to do. And just a sign that boxing's in a great place, because the best are fighting the best, the champions are fighting the champions. And, yeah, on we go. You know,
And so this is spectacular. Big Clear, this is incredible. We love this. We love this. We love this. I'm telling you. We love this. This is incredible. Because this is the very thing that I told you all. When one domino falls in this division, I said it verbatim on this show. Once we get one domino to fall at 154, the rest of the division will fall in kind, and the public will see this division heat up in a way that is so spectacular. It's incredible. And the hottest division in boxing all of a sudden becomes, or lives up to its moniker, as the hottest division in boxing. And it's great. We love it. We need it. I'm so happy it's actually taking place. And this is the exact road I said could happen. Fundora fights, like you said, fights the mandatory, then fights Kelly for the title. After he fights Kelly, he then goes and fights Boots or Zayas for undisputed. That would be great. Now, granted, it's the one-off from the ultimate fight that I thought was going to happen, where it was going to be Ortiz and Boots fighting for the undisputed title. But either way, we're going to get somebody crowned. And it looks like it's going to be an easy road to make happen, because everything seems to be lining up. And I'm excited for it. If the PBC does fall in line and make it worthwhile, yeah, the very thing we wanted to happen can happen. And it's so sad because Virgil Ortiz is left out in the dust with all of this conversation. That's the shame. Virgil Ortiz with everything is left hung out to dry with all of this stuff going on. And it's horrible. It's terrible. It is what was supposed to be one of the other biggest claims to fame in terms of Boots moving up, moving out, being successful, and being in the thick of all of these other competent elite fighters that are all shaking and moving this division as we speak. And now, it's out the dust. It's a pity. That's what it is. It's absolutely a pity. But that's what's going down. But again, to go back and answer and address this comment, as this was just a perfect segue to talk about Fundora versus Josh Kelly. Virgil, he's not a prospect. People call him a prospect because he's yet to win a ring, not a ring, but yet to win a belt, yet to win a championship, yet to win a title. So you are fighting this much, and we talk about you all this way, but you only, the goal that you have ain't the same, because it's non-existent. And so because of that, people have you saying, hey, this brother's a 30-something-year-old prospect. Where's the talent and where's the ability? Where's the success on the level that we've been asking for? But he's not a prospect. Be clear. He is just, for a lot of people, underachieving. And now it's time to step it up and move and work. And hopefully we actually see that take place. Hopefully, as time goes on. Let me keep on reading. Let me keep on seeing what you all have to say. Fundora over everybody at 154. He's too much to deal with. He's gonna beat Josh Kelly. I'm almost assured he's gonna beat Josh Kelly. He's gonna beat. Josh Kelly. I don't think is gonna be able to have the same success that we've seen others fight when it comes to fighting Fundora, like Brian Mendoza, because he doesn't fight on the inside. He is a mover. He stayed away from Abakram. He is a ring runner. Not in it. I don't say runner in a negative way, but he's a guy. He uses the whole of the ring. He wants to go and establish a presence by surrounding, or rather by using his surroundings and using the entire ring to his advantage and being off center, using his speed to be able to get out of the way, jab and move, land some stuff, catch you off balance like he did against Bacra. But against Fundora, that won't be able to work because Fundora doesn't have to leave the center of the ring to reach you. He doesn't. And so you're going to be in a situation where you're struggling. And you're going to be running the ropes yet again, just like with Thurman. And Fundora just going to be doing this. Jabbing. That's it. Just simply jabbing. Simply throwing his jab out consistently. That's all he's going to be doing. And then boom, boom. Land the 1-2. He's a southpaw. So excuse me. It's the other hand. I can't do it because the mic is in the way. But mirror this image. That's all you're going to see. This is all you're going to see. Just him going like this against Josh Kelly. As Josh Kelly keeps on trying to bounce and move around the ring, he's just simply popping him. He's going to keep on popping him. Throwing a hook as well as he tries to go and cut him off and then keep on popping him with the jab. That's all he's going to do. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. That is it. That's it. And then he's going to get beat up in the same way as everybody else. He's going to get beat up in the same way as everybody else. And it's going to be Fundora taking the victory. Most likely, almost assured, it's going to be like that. I can just about guarantee it. But let me see. But if everyone at 154 can beat him, or if anyone at 154 can beat him, it will be Boots Ennis. It's either Boots or Ortiz. That's what I strongly believe. Because you have to beat Fundora on the inside. That is the fully understood notion. You have to beat Fundora on the inside. There is no other way to beat him except for if you're able to go and beat him in the close range area. There's no mid-range for Fundora. It's long range or you're right in his chest. That's what it's got to be. And can't nobody beat him long range right now. It's going to have to be straight up. You sit in the pocket with him. You are dealing with the fire. You are in the towering inferno and you're looking to get out. Or rather, you're looking to break down the building yourself and put out that fire on your own. That's what you're going to have to do. Because if you can't do that, you most likely you won't be able to beat them. Not really. Those fights aren't happening anytime soon. And Virgil is going to be out of the ring for like 3 months. It might be longer. It might be longer. We might not see him back until what's it, April? Was it April, May, June, July, August? We could not see him until October. It could be longer. It could be close to October or November until we see Ortiz back in the ring against somebody. But we're gonna find out. He should be back after June. Yeah, June. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be back by June. I think it's gonna be later. I truly do. Because Ortiz got a reputation now. And I think that's gonna hurt him. With people saying now, like what Zayas said on social media, you can't make a fight with the guy. Because he puts up too much in its favor. Xander's words, not mine, when it comes to why their fight didn't take place when it was supposed to be. They could have negotiated and they wanted stuff going down with the whole situation. But again, we can talk about that later on in the show. Actually, do we even have time to talk about it later on? Because we're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. We're about at the end of our normal trajectory of the show. And so do we go longer or do we go and sit it out? I'll leave it up to you all because you all are controlling the show, and you all, the more you chat, the more we can discuss. We're going to do the last call because we're at near the end of the show, and we want to make sure that you can get whatever it takes in conversation you want to get off now. So we're going to hit the button. We're going to get it started. So it's the last call, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's see what you got to say. It's time for you to say whatever you can in regards to the world of boxing and beyond. your final opportunity on this show, on this Friday afternoon, to get your takes off, get your conversation, get your thoughts, get your opinions, get everything under the sun. Whatever you want to discuss, whatever you want to ask me, we can go and make it happen, and we can go and delve into it right here, right now, for the world to witness and enjoy, and for everybody to see. No question about it. And you all have the floor. You all got the conversation. You all are in the forefront of everything that we're discussing on today, and you all are the driving force of what this show is going to be. We've talked about Boots Ennis versus Zayas. We've talked about Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. We have talked about Ryan Garcia going up against Teofimo Lopez. We've talked about a bunch of stuff on the docket of today's show, and we still want to come in and see what you have to say. If you have more that you want to get off your chest, if you can. But if you don't, hey, no problem. We'll wrap this show up. We'll send it home, and we will get on out of here. No question about it. Oh, real quick, there was one thing I did want to say. There was one thing I did want to play in terms of the conversations with the next fight that we can potentially see, and that is with the likes of Moses Atama. We talked about him, I think, earlier in the week. There was a video of who was talking as his next opponent can potentially be. And let me read the chat real quick, and then I'll play the clip for you all to witness and enjoy. But let me keep on reading. It just sucks that Oscar is acting like a little girl. He just doesn't want to see Virgil win and let him out of his contract. In reality, Oscar is a hypocrite because he put a lawsuit on Bob. No, yeah, I agree. I absolutely do agree. We've said that multiple times. You are saying the same system, and I've said when I have looked at this entire situation with all the evidence I've been able to get. Now, something new broke out that I didn't witness in regards to the whole negotiations, whether it's with Zayas or with anything else. Hey, please. Hold on, tell me so I can be sure I'm informed as properly so. But from what I've seen, it's been Oscar as the most recent and prevalent issue as to why everything got held up in the process. But let me, like I said, we've covered that multiple times before. But even still, great show today. I'll make a bold prediction, and say Deontay Wilder by knockout in the second round. Oh shoot! If he does that, let me tell you something. We gonna stand up and cheer. If he does that, we gonna stand up and cheer. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be incredible. It is gonna be. If he does that, oh my gosh, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Oh, if we got to see a knockout in the second round, and we got to see Wilder come back in blood and get himself a legitimate, impressive Deontay Wilder feeling victory. Best thing you could ask for. The best thing you could ask for. That could potentially push us into a situation where we get AJ versus Wilder. And we get the fight we've been asking for. Get the fight we've been begging for. Wilder versus Atama. He knocks out Chisora. Yeah, Wilder versus Atama. That's a real thing that can happen. He knocks out Chisora. These rungs of gatekeeping prowess, where we can see him fighting people that aren't necessarily at his level, but he would belong in, okay, another step up. We can see that take place. Now I would love to see it, no question about it. But even still, again, last call. Anything else anybody wants to say? If not, we're going to wrap this show up and send it home. It's been a phenomenal show with you all. Blessings, Welch. Blessings to you all. Blessings to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you all coming in on the live today. Hopefully you had a phenomenal time. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And hopefully we made your day a little bit brighter and a little bit better. And hopefully you kept on liking the stream while you were here. And we're going to wrap this show up and end it with a bang. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We thank you to everybody who tuned in and supported on stream today. I hope I made your show or made this show spectacular. You all helped make this show special because you all were the driving force surrounding everything that we did on today's episode, and we appreciate it oh so much. Thank you for tuning in all throughout this week, and thank you. Oh gosh, wait, hold on. Where's the chat? Wait a minute, hold on. This is supposed to be an end credit scene where y'all get the thanks and love of going in on the chat and saying, putting the names up. I don't know, is it gonna show up? Are the names gonna show up or not? They better be. Because doggone it, y'all chatted and y'all, I don't know why it's not doing it, but we'll clap regardless. Thank you to everybody who showed up and showed out and chatted on stream. Your name should be up here. I don't know why they're not up here, but regardless of which, we appreciate you all oh so much. We thank you for tuning in, and we love you all for listening. We appreciate everybody who showed up and showed out. Keep on liking the stream before you get on out of here. Share the show with everybody that you can to keep on building up this empire together. One like makes a world of difference and helps to put this show to the algorithms all across the globe. Also, be sure once this video ends, hit the hype button on your phone. If you're watching this on your phone, there's a hype section you can click, and it apparently helps us to go and get seen even more. So use up all your hypes if you can, and hit the stream, hit everything you can. Subscribe to the channel. Chat what you like and didn't like about the show so we can keep on improving and making it better. And if you want to support the channel one last time, we have Cash App, PayPal links down below, as well as Super Chat, Super Gifts, stickers, and the like if you can support and make this show oh so much more special and oh so much better. We're going to see you all next week and potentially this weekend for Wilder and Chazor. If we are able to stream it, we will be streaming it right here with you all, and we're gonna have a bunch of fun. We're gonna let you know on Saturday if we can make it happen, but I'll keep you updated. But I've been Jean-Luc Welch. You all have been absolutely wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out of here. Yes, sir. We are gonna see you all on either Saturday or Tuesday. Be safe, be blessed. Salute to you. Peace and love. And we out of here. We're going to see you all next time, and we can't wait until then.